A chilling development in the Israel-Gaza conflict has emerged, with Hamas claiming to have sent 2 hostages' bodies to Israel. This revelation comes amidst a fragile ceasefire agreement, leaving many wondering if it's a sign of progress or a potential spark for renewed tensions. The hostage situation. The Israeli Prime Minister's office confirmed the receipt of 2 bodies, allegedly hostages, from Gaza. These remains were transferred through the Red Cross and will undergo formal identification. Hamas previously stated that the bodies were recovered in Palestinian territory on Saturday. A delayed return. The return of these hostages has been a contentious issue. Before Saturday, only 10 out of 28 deceased hostages had been returned to Israel. The delay has sparked anger in Israel, as the recent ceasefire agreement mandated the release of all hostages, both living and deceased. Hamas attributes the delay to the challenge of locating the remaining bodies amidst the rubble. Border crossing tensions. In response, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office has ordered the Rafah border crossing between Gaza and Egypt to remain closed until further notice. The reopening is contingent on the return of the final hostage remains and adherence to the ceasefire terms. This crossing is crucial for Palestinians seeking medical treatment and for the return of thousands of others. International perspectives. The Israel Defense Forces, IDF, insist that Hamas must honor the agreement and facilitate the return of all hostages. However, the U.S. has played down the delay, refuting claims that it violates the ceasefire deal. President Donald Trump celebrated the agreement during his recent visit to Israel and Egypt, but the deal's specifics remain unpublished. A leaked version, however, suggests that it may have anticipated difficulties in immediately recovering all the bodies. Hamas's accusations. Hamas blames Israel for the challenges in locating the bodies, citing extensive damage caused by Israeli airstrikes. They argue that Israel's restrictions on heavy machinery and diggers in Gaza hinder the recovery process. The UN humanitarian chief, Tom Fletcher, described the Gaza Strip as a wasteland, where residents search for bodies and their homes amid the ruins. Ceasefire deal details. The ceasefire deal, brokered by the U.S., included the return of all 20 living hostages to Israel by Hamas. Israel's military identified the 10th deceased hostage as Eliyahu Margalit, killed on October 7, 2023. Additionally, Israel released 250 Palestinian prisoners and 1,718 detainees from Gaza as part of the agreement. Escalating violence. On Saturday, the Hamas-run health ministry reported that Israel handed over the bodies of 15 Palestinians via the Red Cross, bringing the total received to 135. The same day, an Israeli tank shell killed 11 members of a Palestinian family, according to the Hamas-run Civil Defense Ministry, marking the deadliest incident involving Israeli soldiers in Gaza since the ceasefire began. The Israeli military claimed they fired at a suspicious vehicle that crossed the unmarked yellow line separating the area occupied by Israeli forces in Gaza. The conflict's origins. The Israeli military's campaign in Gaza followed the October 7, 2023 attack, where Hamas-led gunmen killed approximately 1,200 people in southern Israel and took 251 hostages. Since then, Israeli attacks have resulted in the deaths of at least 68,000 people in Gaza, according to Hamas-run health ministry figures, which the UN considers reliable. A UN commission of inquiry went further, accusing Israel of committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, a report Israel vehemently denies. And here's where it gets controversial. Is the delay in returning hostages a breach of the ceasefire agreement? Should Israel allow heavy machinery into Gaza to expedite body recovery? Share your thoughts below, but remember to keep the discussion respectful and constructive.